this is such a grand stage, I feel like I'm expected to sing or dance or something.
We'll forgive you if you don't.
I won't.
That that reception you just got right there. I have to say, I've had the privilege of doing several of these interviews here for a variety of people, actors and authors, men of science, equally or even more eminent than Dr. Frankenfurter. But I have never had a reaction from my friends and family and acquaintances from the moment I announced that I was going to be doing this with you. People's connection to you. Yeah. And interestingly...
They're all here.
They're all here, every single one of them. This is mostly my family. But everybody's reaction was similar in that they all smiled when your name was mentioned. And they all seemed to feel a certain kinship with or knowledge of you, more so than most fans do with the actors that they identify with. What's at the heart of that? Why?
I don't know. I don't understand it at all. I love it. I must say I like it a lot. It's nice to feel that people feel like they know you and appreciate you.
Yeah, and
I thank them all.
What's interesting is you're a somewhat known as a very private person, and yet these people all feel like they're connecting to something in some of your roles. One thing that I'm going to be skipping around this book, which is excellent, by the way.
Sure, you bet.
One thing that you mentioned, and I think I want to read it because it's so well put. It's about laughing and acting, and I love this. It's not at all hard to laugh while acting. It's something I've done in every role I've played. I can always find a humor, and I've rarely played a character entirely devoid of it. When I read that passage, I realized that's somewhat unique, isn't it? That many actors don't laugh inside their roles, and yours is very genuine.
Well, I think it's important to find out how the character does laugh. Mm-hmm. Because people laugh in very different ways, and some people don't laugh at all.
I've noticed that. I wonder whether that's part of the reason audiences connect with you so hard. They definitely feel a bond with you. Have you noticed that different from other actors that you work with, that you're more beset by fans?
Sometimes, but mostly not.
Really? Oh, that's interesting. We're approaching the 50th anniversary of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Obviously, it started as a stage show, as most people here know, and you made that transition from stage to film inside that role. How did you handle that transition? It's very difficult for a lot of actors.
I was terrified, actually, but I thought that it was kind of important that Frank would treat the camera as a friend, but also be quite aggressive and want to take on the camera, and I tried to do that.
Yeah, I recently rewatched, and you do that all the time. But it's like I said, on stage, it's so much farther away. And for an actor who had really never done a lot of camera work before, it's remarkable to me how you
It was my first movie.
First one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First proper one. I mean, I did a film for the BBC, but that was
the first feature.
That was the first time.
Fantastic. Now, I read in your book that Frankenfurter began his existence as a bleach blonde with a German accent.
He did. He wasn't really, well, I actually began playing him with blue hair.
Blue hair?
And they had to bleach it first to get the color. And then the blue faded very quickly, and I ended up with this alarming blonde hair. It was quite interesting being a blonde. They do have more fun.
They do. I've never experienced that sort of fun. But the German accent went away as well.
It did.
And it became something really posh instead.
Yes, it did. It was, the German accent wore out its welcome very quickly. Do you have any tattoos, Bread?
Yeah.
But I knew it wasn't working, really.
I can see why not.
And I was on a bus one day, and there was a woman clearly from Knightsbridge or somewhere like that, who had a very grand accent that was clearly modeled on Her Majesty the Queen. And I heard her say, "Do you have a house in town or a house in the country?"
Country.
And I just thought, oh, wow, that's it.
So Frank's voice is modeled on a woman on a bus who
Yes.
was modeling her accent on the Queen herself.
I think so. I think that was her source. It also was vaguely like my mother's telephone voice if she was trying to impress somebody.
Was that completely different than her usual voice?
Yes. It was equally alarming.
So backstage, I showed you a picture that a friend just sent me of myself as Frankenfurter.
It was rather good.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
You liked my legs?
Yeah, I was jealous of the length of your legs,
Yeah.
as the actress said to the bishop.
But I remember attending both the Rocky Horror Picture Show and that Rocky Horror Stage Show in London as just the best time, and I'm sure many people here have done that. Do you think the show gives people permission to do something that they wouldn't ordinarily do?
I hope so. I really hope so. I think it does, or can do.
Yeah, it's certainly, I see it whenever I've seen the movie. But something that you said in the book really stuck out for me as you created Frankenfurter. You're very clear that he is not in drag.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
I think it's very important that Frank can be seen to be able to fuck anybody. And also I thought that what I was wearing was just the regular costume in Transylvania. That's what people look like in Transylvania.
And so he wasn't, with his clothes, he was just wearing his ordinary clothes.
Yeah, his work clothes. Although his work clothes really is that awful kind of green surgical gown and the rubber gloves, which I enjoyed a lot. They were a very fun prop.
The rubber gloves.
The rubber gloves.
Did you do the rubber gloves on stage as well? Or is that just for the movie?
I don't think I did. No, I didn't. It was just for the movie.
Mm-hmm. Now the stage show ran. I don't. There's so much more to talk about, but you did come out to L.A. with the stage show.
Yeah.
Around the time of shooting the movie, and that's where you picked up Meatloaf in the cast, right?
Yeah.
And whom you brutally murdered on many occasions.
I did.
Yeah. You enjoy LA quite a bit now. How was it back then, coming to Los Angeles for the first time as a...
It was great. I was hugely excited to be coming here. And Lou Adler, who produced it, was a very successful and famous record producer. And I was, like everybody, a Carole King fan. And
Yeah.
and Cheech and Chong, who he also produced,
Oh, right.
Up in Smoke and all of that.
Well, it was shortly after that that you launched a music career as well, right? You came out with 3 albums, had some success, but not runaway rock star success, which brings me to a question.
Yeah.
Do you think you would have been happy as a rock star, playing only that one role, or?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, because I did try very hard to be one.
Yeah, well, 3 albums is a lot. You wrote quite a few songs.
Yeah, well, in the end I did. The first couple of albums, I didn't write anything.
Oh, really? So you didn't write I Do the Rock? Which
I did.
You did write that one. That is a very entertaining music video, too, if you guys haven't seen it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Back then, people really weren't making rock videos, but MTV created a market for them, and I was lucky enough that Jerry Moss, who was the M of A&M, put up the money to do it because he thought that it would be a good promotional tool.
Well, it's an enduring classic of the genre, having just viewed it the other night. Do you ever listen to those old albums?
I don't, actually. I think if I did, I would worry that I hadn't written anything in a while. The rock was actually, I had a terrific drummer called Charles Collins, who was a black guy from Detroit. And he and Bob Babbitt, who was my bass player, were a rhythm section for Motown. And he was a serious student of music.
Yeah.
And he told me that there was this dance that was huge in the clubs in New Jersey. And he did it for me.
Did you attempt to do it in the video?
In a grim sort of way. Not really.
Now, you ended up dancing in many roles that you've played. And my wife, who's a dancer and choreographer, remarked to me just last night, she's like, he must have been very well trained as a dancer, but you weren't.
I sure wasn't. As I would have thought it would be obvious, especially to a choreographer.
My wife said, she said you move beautifully.
Well, that's very kind. Well, thank her.
I will. Tim says thank you, Jeannie.
Thank you, Jeannie, if you're here. That's really a very important compliment for me. I did a musical called Me and My Girl, which was a huge hit in the 30s in England and starred a famous comedian of the time. And it was choreographed by a superwoman called Gillian Gregory. And I had to learn how to tap. And that was really fun.
Did you get any good at it?
I got quite good.
Well, you must.
I could travel.
Right. Oh, you could tap and travel.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm hopeless with that. I don't even have left feet. They're some other direction. You went on to. Well, yeah. Let's just move forward chronologically, or somewhat chronologically, because after Rocky Horror, one of your next gigantic roles was in New York, playing the title character in Amadeus alongside Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
Now, he and you are two actors that I revere. What was it like night after night being on the two of you on stage together? Was it comfortable? Was it professional? Was it fun?
It was sometimes difficult because he's a very technical actor and proud of it. If you know what I mean.
I do.
And he didn't always admire my method of working, which is almost entirely instinctive.
That's somewhat similar to the characters.
Yeah. Well, actually, Peter Schaffer, who wrote it, was a friend.
Uh-huh.
When I was living in New York, which I did for 10 years, he was very important to my tenure as a New Yorker. I used to go to his apartment pretty much every Sunday evening, and he would make a kind of classic English Sunday roast dinner.
Oh, that's wonderful.
He had a friend called Robert Leonard, and one evening we were both there for dinner, and I didn't have a lot to talk about really when I was there, and I tended to talk about my experience in the recording studio, which must have been very dreary for them, but actually Robert on the way out said, you know, Peter's writing an incredible part for you. And I think that had something to do with it, really.
That's wonderful. He wrote it just for you. That makes sense. Did you ever contemplate that maybe years later you'd want to go at Salieri?
I did.
You did it?
No, I wanted to.
Oh, you wanted to. I think you'd be fantastic as him.
Well, so did Peter.
Uh-huh.
Because when the film was about to be made, he wanted me to play Salieri, and he insisted that Milos Forman, who directed it,
Yes.
give me a screen test. And Milos wasn't impressed at all at the idea. He thought it was a really dumb idea, and he made sure to kind of humiliate me when I did the screen test.
Really?
So he basically just jammed this terrible old wig on my head, and I did the scene where he sort of seduces Constanza. I imagine it was a disaster.
It must have
So
been.
I certainly didn't get offered the part.
Well, I would have loved to have seen you play it. I think you could have.
Or Mozart, for that matter. I was a bit old for Mozart. I was 35, I think, when the film was made.
Yeah, he's quite a young man in the playing the movie.
He's young in the movie.
Yeah.
And Tom Hulce did a grand job.
I think so, but all due respect to F. Murray Abraham, was it? I would have loved to have seen you do it.
Yeah.
But you did get to play your share of villains, regardless.
Oh, yeah.
And so to start touching on that, I want to quote something from your book, which, by the way, everyone, it's fantastic. Read it when you get home. You wrote, in terms of playing villains, I love this. The truth is, I don't truly believe in irredeemably dark people. Now, given that some of the characters that you've played are somewhat irredeemably dark, do you want to elaborate on that?
I find it difficult to grasp the idea that somebody might actually choose to be evil. Mm-hmm. I believe that people who behave badly, really badly, must have some kind of redeeming feature. And I try to make them amusing if I can because of that, really.
That makes a great deal of sense. Although, and in many of the roles, it really emerges. I mean, there's something lovable. I mean, from Frank the murderer to, well, I don't know what was redeemable about basically Satan in legend.
Well,
he
was marginally sexy.
Fair.
And it was very nice to have muscles, which were entirely prosthetic.
You didn't have to confess that.
But I do. And it was like a sort of second skin, which used to be glued to my body.
I read that the passage where you're describing how that process was is excruciating.
Horrible.
Yeah. How many hours to get it on every day?
The first time they tried it took 10 hours. And when we were shooting, it took about 6.
Every day of shooting?
Every day. I used to get there at about 6:30 in the morning. And I would be the first shot after lunch.
Oh, that is rough.
It was exhausting.
Speaking of exhausting, as long as we're bouncing around in the 80s, I've got a card about this here.
Sure.
I told you backstage, I rewatched Clue the other night.
Yay. Thank you.
I told you backstage, it's such a cult classic now. It's generations and generations just really bond with it. But you were exhausted doing that role, just watching you. I was like, that must have been excruciating.
It was the scene where I ran around the house demonstrating how the murders were done. At the end of it, I was
spent.
I was sort of beached like a whale. And they got kind of alarmed and sent me to the studio nurse. And I had blood pressure that was through the roof. Which was not surprising.
It's
really.
Shocking, but not surprising. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just that you were running; it's that you're also yelling and using extraordinarily good pronunciation and diction as well. I mean, it's your voice is so clear, even though you're absolutely winded.
Well, I think Wadsworth really intends to be understood. Mm-hmm. Because butlers are always the grandest people in the house.
In their own estimation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And indeed, in my experience, which is pretty thin, there aren't many people who have butlers anymore.
No.
One of my favorite lines in the movie is Mrs. Peacock, who I revered, Eileen Brennan, who is a brilliant actress. And she says, "You're a butler. What exactly does a butler do?"
Right.
And Wadsworth says, "I buttle, ma'am."
And buttle you did. That cast is extraordinary. Were there any particular favorites to work with in that? I mean, I just
Madeline
love
Kahn.
Madeline Kahn. Yeah.
There was a line that she improvised. He says something like, "My head kind of exploded in flames."
I remember flames all over my face, right? Or
Yeah.
Yeah. She improvised that.
Yeah. And they had to cut very quickly because I was on the floor laughing.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And Christopher Lloyd, Michael McKean, any thoughts on either of them?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Michael, very funny. He's very smart.
I'm not surprised to hear
He's
that.
super intelligent and really bright. And I enjoyed him very much.
Yeah. He continues to be a
Yeah.
tremendously good actor. in so many different roles. But speaking of different
He
roles,
underplays so elegantly.
he does. It's all very muted and stuff.
It is.
But it emerges. You seem to be able to both underplay and overplay when necessary. Is that just something that came natural, or because when it's time to go over the top, as you know, from your very first role on, you certainly do. You can.
I can and do.
Yeah.
I try not to in real life because
it's not always well received.
No, I don't think it would be welcomed. But there are indeed people who are over the top.
Yeah, they live on that speed.
Yeah.
But no, you're English. Before I leave Clue behind, I do want to mention something that I read in the book we spoke about briefly, which is that there was a fourth ending to Clue.
There was. Originally, when Jonathan Lynn pitched it to me, there was a whole thing where Wadsworth killed everybody.
And you actually shot that, right?
We shot. No, I don't think we ever shot it.
Oh, you didn't shoot it. Oh.
I wish we had.
I wish you had too. That would have been great fun.
I would have loved it. But Jonathan was the writer and director. It was a very strange kind of gestation, that movie, because it was a sort of group effort of all these sort of young moguls, including John Landis.
Right.
All these kind of 30-ish, 35-ish baby moguls, they called them.
The baby moguls.
The baby moguls. There were about 4 or 5 of them. I think they're listed as producers maybe in the movie, I'm not sure.
I think you might be right about that.
They thought that Cluedo, Clue, in England it's called Cluedo.
Yeah, I never understood that.
I don't know quite why. Because there's a game called Ludo, I think.
Oh, is that it?
Maybe, I don't know. It's a mystery to me.
It's a good movie to have a mystery surrounding. We have something in common, which I wanted to bring about, because I'm told this is one of your favorite roles. In the 90s, you and I both worked with the Muppets.
Oh. I loved them.
They're the best. The work that those performers do is...
They're incredible.
Unbelievable. What was the experience like on set to shoot Treasure Island?
Well, one of the things that I loved was that the Muppeteers, which is what they're called, when they have the Muppet on their hand, will only talk to you as the character. And I liked that. That was fun.
Yeah.
I was crazy about Miss Piggy. And in fact, there was a sort of subplot, only glancingly referred to, that they had a history together.
Yes, there is a moment where that seems to be the thing.
Where they have had an affair at some point. I gave myself a line. Well, once you've had pork, you never go back. But it never made it onto the screen.
That is a great shame.
It is a shame.
Yeah.
Actually,
I think. I guess the line was deemed not kosher.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody. She's quite delicate, though, Miss Piggy. I'm sure you were aware of on set.
Dainty.
Because they had the electro.
She's dainty.
Yeah, very dainty. They go through a lot of Miss Piggy heads on a given day of shooting.
Really?
Yeah. She tears easily, so maybe it's a good thing that you guys never lived.
Oh dear.
No, the head. I apologize for them. Now on the.
They're exactly my weight and speed, actually.
On the set of Treasure Island, was your part of the set raised, or were all the Muppeteers squatting down? I mean, I know they do both ways sometimes.
Well, mine wasn't really raised, but they were always really pretty much on the studio floor. Mm-hmm. They were below me, but I guess...
But not beneath you?
But kind of beneath me.
It's great fun.
What did you do with them?
I wrote for a show which no one in here will remember, called The Wubbulous World of Dr. Seuss. It was a Nickelodeon show using Muppet versions of Dr. Seuss characters in all new inventions.
It's a great title.
It was a great title. It was a...
Was it Wubbulous?
Wubbulous. It was wubbulous. It was a wubbulous experience. But I got to work with many of the same performers that were doing Treasure Island at the time as well.
They're so smart.
They're smart. Their level of fitness is amazing. And to watch them, watching their performance in the monitor, you know, as they correct their eye lines and stuff, it's beyond me how they managed to do that.
I know.
It's you ended up doing a lot of work, though, with Nickelodeon. Speaking of Nickelodeon, you did... Wild Thornberries, is that what you're clapping for? I realize I'm skipping around all over the place, but...
I loved Wild Thornberries. I wish they'd bring it back.
Yeah. You did quite a few episodes, and that was towards the beginning of your second, third, maybe fourth career as a voice actor.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm curious about, because I've done some voice work, is when recording, do you try to physically embody the character, or do you just keep it to the voice?
No, I just keep it to the voice, because that's the beauty of it, really. Sometimes you only do your voice and your lines, and I don't enjoy that much.
Right.
Sometimes, and very rarely, there are 2 or 3 of you in the studio, and you're actually physically there together, and that's nice. That we did that quite a lot at the Thornberries.
Oh, you did? So you were in the room together recording?
With Jodie Carlisle, who played my wife, and was very funny. And sometimes Lacey Chabert, who was my daughter.
It's a completely different skill, but at the same time, it is a very akin to acting skill. Now, as you point out in the book, nowadays it's almost expected for film and television actors to voice animated things. But when you started doing this, that was not the case, and you had some pushback from the voiceover community. Is that right?
There was a guy called Tom somebody, I can't remember his whole name, who thought that I had a fucking nerve. But actually, it was a great deal to do with my agent at the time, who is now my manager, Marsha Hurwitz, who I believe you met.
I did. Lovely. And she hooked you up with that voice work?
She did. Very diligently.
Oh, you did a tremendous amount of roles.
I did a lot.
Yeah. Is that just an everyday thing? Oh, I think you explained it was something to do between movie roles as well, right?
Well, yeah, it was. It was nice to go to work, and I enjoyed it a lot.
But work did call you away from that at one point, and I have to get to this, or they will hang me. I want to talk about another iconic role that you played, King Arthur.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, growing up, you're a Python fan, and then you find yourself having to recreate and expand upon Graham Chapman's role.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Eric Idle and I had become great friends, and he trusted me with it, really. And Mike Nichols, who was an extraordinary director.
Yes.
It's one of my great regrets that he never got to make the movie of it. He wanted to.
He wanted to.
But it never happened.
Oh, that is a shame, because, I've seen.
But the Holy Grail is pretty iconic in its own right. So,
Yes, it is. It's by definition.
so
an icon.
yeah.
I saw some video of you performing in the role of Arthur, and just I think I saw you singing the song "I'm All Alone."
Yeah, really?
Yeah, it's
I love that song.
it's wonderful. I know, and another thing that's wonderful about it is that you play it completely straight. It's just you let it breathe and let the guy who's playing your steed,
Yes.
fulminate next to you.
Yeah.
Was that strenuous, being Arthur night after night on Broadway?
It was. Although it wasn't hugely demanding physically,
No.
just showing up 8 times a week is hard.
It's got to be, and you've done it quite a bit.
I have done it a lot. And that experience was very particular in New York on Broadway. And there was a peculiar thing that I discovered, that when I started to leave the theater through the stage door, there'd be this group of people who wanted me to sign things and talk to them, and they seemed to see it as part of the experience of going to a Broadway play. I found that quite difficult.
Was it uncomfortable just to
It was.
make your way from the stage door to the throng?
It was.
And that wasn't the case when you were playing Mozart or any of your other Broadway roles?
Not to the same degree.
And I think you wrote that that's not a thing on the West End.
Not really, although I did it. I mean,
Oh, you did? Who'd you do
well,
it to?
I saw West Side Story in London on the stage, and George Takiris was playing Riff. He played Bernardo in the movie. And Chita Rivera played Anita and was incredible. And I waited outside the stage door in the rain and got their autographs.
Really?
It really changed my life when I saw that show. I walked out thinking I really want to do that in some way.
And you did definitely do that in some way, though you never played Maria.
No, I didn't. I'm sure that the audiences all over the world would be grateful for that.
I wanted to ask you about working with Carol Burnett and Bernadette Peters.
That was
This is
heaven.
the lightning round. I'll ask those things
Heaven.
quickly.
Carol Burnett is so funny, and became a great friend. And I got a message from her recently, and I haven't seen her for a long time. She came to London after we had finished shooting the movie. When we did finish, as we were wrapping it, I asked her what she was going to do, and she said, "I'm going home to Hawaii to watch the whales fucking."
Yeah, that's unquestionably
It was
funny.
pretty good.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Now, you chose to move here to Los Angeles. To the extent that you've ever settled down, you moved here. Is there a particular reason? I know that I have found to love the place, but what made you choose Los Angeles?
I had worked here quite a lot, and I liked it very much. I love, as an Englishman, we really appreciate the weather here. But a rather snobby friend in England said to me, why do you want to move to LA? And I said, that's where they point cameras at you.
Yeah,
They do, happily.
They do, and they still do. I fear that my time is at an end. Is that not? I mean, I get to stay on stage, but I think we're moving to questions from the audience now, if that's all right with you.
Yay.
Thanks to all of you who sent in questions. I will read some of them from over here. Shelley wants to know, who would people be surprised to know you were friends with?
Pretty much everybody, I would think. I can't really think of anyone who might be amazing.
Who surprised you that you liked? On someone that you shot a movie with, didn't think you'd have anything in common, and you found out that you just adored them?
It's a strange thing, I think, making movies in that it's not necessarily expected that there's going to be a camaraderie with each other. So some people I've made films with, remain a mystery to me.
Right.
Because they did the gig and went home.
Stephen wants to know, can you share any memories of working with Bill Paxton on Pass the Ammo?
Well, Pass the Ammo was a really great experience. I loved doing it. Because we shot it in a town in Arkansas called Eureka Springs. And it's famous for this sort of remarkable kind of Christian festival they do in the summer, because one of the major features of Eureka Springs is this huge, very tall statue of Jesus. We made the most of it.
Jennifer asks, how did you prep for your Romanian accent in Mr. Homke's Congo?
I did actually talk to a Romanian guy, but I fudged it completely. I just made it slightly to the left of Russian.
You did so many accents, which is amazing. Not everybody can pull them off. I mean, I guess the German one never happened, but
Sadly.
tragically. But are there any go-tos, any particular voices that you return to again and again when you're creating a character?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
Long John Silver was very much based on my grandfather.
Really?
My mother's father worked in the dockyards in Plymouth, which is the port that the Mayflower sailed from, and Plymouth Rock is there, and he talked like that.
That's amazing. So your grandfather on your maternal side spoke like a pirate.
Yeah, he did really. He talked in a real Devonshire accent, which, which is really very far southwest of England. Mm-hmm. And it's very colorful sounding.
It certainly is. It stood its own against the Muppets, who are colorful in their own right.
Can you please talk about your involvement with video games, especially your starring role in 2 Gabriel Knight games?
I enjoyed Gabriel Knight a lot because it was a mystery to me as much as it was to the audience, really. I kind of learned to find a level to do voices for video games that they had to be very clear and muscular, really, to try and hold the gamer's attention. I've never actually really seen any of them.
It's quite a long process, isn't it? Because to voice a video game, you have to read all these wild lines that seem
Pages,
seemingly unconnected.
pages and pages of it.
Yeah, I wrote a couple back in the day, and there has to be different case scenarios for every line, and you don't always know which one you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yvette wants to know, did you ever find your tambourine? Mildred, Hubble, and the rest of the witches would like to know.
No. It's still missing.
Well, look under your seats, everyone.
Bill asks, is there anything you left out of your memoir that you might tell us tonight?
Quite a lot, I would think. Nothing that would entertain you much, I don't think, because I would have put it in. As the bishop said to the actress.
Tony asks, do you own a copy of your Excalibur sword from Spamalot? I made those
No, I
swords, and I
don't.
can get you one if you would like one.
No, I don't.
Would you like one?
I'm not very big on memorabilia. I've never really,
Have you kept anything?
almost nothing, really.
Philip asks, any memories from working on the sitcom Over the Top with Annie Potts and Steve Carell?
We sort of discovered Steve, and he was very funny. And actually funnier in person, because he's very straight-faced
Yes.
and subtle, which Yorgo wasn't. I think the people who wrote it, Amy Sherman and her husband Dan Palladino, had seen John Cleese's show with his wife. I forget what it was called, but he was a hotelier.
Faulty Towers.
Faulty Towers, yes. I think they'd researched that a great deal.
That was an intensely complicated show. I did famously.
It was.
John Cleese set up giant boards full of logic trees to figure out where everyone was at every moment in the scripts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was along those lines then?
No,
No.
it wasn't nearly as funny.
Fair.
It wasn't very funny at all. Annie had experience with designing women
Right.
and knew how to gee it up a bit, really. And I learned a lot from her.
Dylan asks, do you have hope for humanity?
I do, oddly. I think people prefer to stay alive. Nobody much, apart from Trump, wants to make war anymore. I met him because when we shot Home Alone 2,
Yes.
Lost in New York, it was set at the Plaza Hotel, which he owned at the time. And in fact, we stayed there, at least I did. 3 or 4 of us stayed there. Ivana Trump had redecorated the plaza, which had a very beautiful, originally black and white terrazzo floor in the lobby, which she covered with a hideous kind of fake Persian carpet,
Oh, okay.
which reflected her particular Eastern European taste. She knocked on my door and came in and said, "How do you find your room?" I said, "Sometimes I do get lost." He was actually hideous.
He was.
It wasn't pretty at all, no. But Mr. Trump himself appeared in the movie.
He has a cameo.
He has a cameo, which he pretty much insisted on.
Shocking.
So he did a walk through one of the scenes, and he was having a hugely publicized affair with a girl called Marla Maples.
Marla
at the
Maples,
time,
yes.
which was a huge scandal in New York, and the New York Post pretty much existed to record it. And he showed up with her and said to me, "Is Christopher Columbus, the director, here? Because I want him to meet Marla. She's a very brilliant actress, and they should get together." Which made for an interesting visual.
Oh, you're very funny in that movie, too.
He did have a grim kind of confidence, and he seemed to assume that the camera was meant for him, and still does.
And he doesn't laugh.
No.
I don't know how you would play him.
Well, you'd have to kind of sacrifice your sense of humor.
And I hope you never do that.
Because he's not funny.
Tim Curry, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.